Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have a great video for you today. I'm going to show you how simple it can be to make a motion graphics template that you can use in your Premiere projects and YouTube videos. I'm guessing that there are many people who have an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription but haven't yet dipped their toe in the water to try out After Effects. But really, it's not as scary as you might think. I'm going to show you in a few simple steps how you can create animated captions and save them in your library ready to be put into your Premiere videos. I'm going to show you how to make this simple caption in just a few steps. In Premiere, you just drag it onto your timeline and you'll be able to change the color, the font, the text, the size, even put multiple lines into your caption. So stick with me and watch along. We're now in After Effects, and you can see if you've never been in After Effects before that the layout is fairly similar to Premiere, with an area for your project, an area for your source monitor or your timeline monitor, an area for your effects, and a timeline that you will work on. We need to create a new composition, which is similar in After Effects to what a sequence would be in Premiere. So you can click here or you can type Control-N to create a new composition, and we give it a name. And you give it the attributes that are similar to the kind of video that you will be applying it to in Premiere. So I quite often make videos at 25 frames per second. You might make them at 30 frames per second, in which case that's what you would set here. And in this case, I want this composition to be 4 seconds long. And the reason being that I want 1 second for the caption to animate in, 2 seconds for the caption to remain on screen, and 1 second for the caption to animate out again. And that will give us the 4 seconds. So I say OK to that. And then we're going to put our caption text onto the screen. So just take the text tool, and here you can set whichever font and attributes for the text that you wish, because you will be able to change them afterwards. So I'm just going to enter some text. So enter your caption here. That will give you guidance in Premiere as to what that field is for. And so we have done that. I'll just switch off the text tool so that I don't accidentally type some further text onto the screen, and we can move this around into the middle of the screen. Or we could indeed align it quite simply by middle aligning it and vertically aligning it with the center of the screen. So we now have our text, and what we want to do is to animate that. We'll do that from the Effects and Presets section over here. So I've already looked for an animation that contains spin, and there are a number of them. You can have them spinning in by character or word. I want to use the one that says spin fast, so I'm just going to take that and drag it over onto the text to apply that animation to it. And there's a really useful key here that you can use, which is the U key. So if you highlight that layer on the composition, then you can type U, and it will open up all of the attributes in that composition that have keyframes on them. In other words, the attributes that are animated. So that allows you to make changes to them. So if we use the space bar to play this composition, you'll see that it animates in over 3 seconds. Well, that's too slow for my purposes. I wanted it to animate in over 1 second. So I'll just drag a box around the keyframes at 3 seconds and drag them back to 1 second. And now, if I press Home and Space, we can see that it animates in much faster. So I'm just going to move to 2 seconds here. You'll see why in a moment. What we want to do is we want to have the text animate out again after it's been on screen for 2 seconds. So I'll drag a box round all of these keyframes, and I'm going to copy them with Control-C and paste them in with Control-V. And so I've duplicated the animation that we already have, but we want to reverse it. So I'm simply going to drag a box around these initial frames and drag them to the end, which means that we have reversed the animation that was set up initially. So I'll press Home and Space and you'll see that the text animates in and then the text animates out again. That's everything that we need to do to make the animation. So what I'm going to do is just simply save this as a project. So we'll call it animation, and we've saved it. Now what we want to do is export this as a Motion Graphics template so that we can use it in Adobe Premiere. So we go to Composition and open in Essential Graphics. And here we have a panel that will allow us to export a Motion Graphics template. We need to give the Motion Graphics template a name, so we can call it Spin Caption. And now we need to add the attributes to this that we may want to change in Premiere. An easy way to open up all the attributes that you may want is to use that U key again. But this time, if you press U twice, you'll open up all the attributes that are options. Another way to do that would be to click on the Solo Supported Properties button in the Essential Graphics, and it will open up everything that you will be able to change in Premiere. So the first thing that we would want to change naturally enough is the source text itself. So we simply just drag this from the layer properties and onto the panel, and we can give it a name and call it caption text. And then if you click on Edit Properties here, we can now enable the substitution of a different font and change the font size and enable faux styles, which are things like all caps and bold and things like that that may not be contained within the font specification itself. So we say to OK to that, and these parameters are all going to go through to Premiere when we use this template, and you'll be able to change them as required, change your fonts and sizes and other aspects of that. However, there is one thing that it could be useful to be able to change that is not already here as an option for you, and that is the color of the text. And the way I would do this is by clicking on the little animate option that is against text and fill color RGB. So that adds some attributes onto the text, and you can simply take fill color and drag it up onto the Essential Graphics template in order to give yourself an option. You see it has come in with a default of red. We can change that and give it a default of white. So I'll just change it to white. There we are, and that's probably a more normal default for a caption. So now at this stage, we've done everything that we need to do, and we just need to decide where to put it. I'm going to save the project and then export the Motion Graphics template. So in this case, we can put it into our local templates folder, or we can put it into a library. In this case, I'm simply going to put it into my library here. It will go in with the name that we've already specified, and we could add keywords to it, such as caption, animation, which may help you look for it in the future. So we say OK. So we've done everything that we need to do. We can simply close down After Effects and open up Premiere. So I'm just creating an empty project here, and I will just create a new sequence on this. Just create my default sequence at 25 frames per second. So we have a sequence here in the timeline, and if I wanted to add that caption, I go to Graphics, and then I can look in my library, and we should be able to find the caption that we created, which we called Spin Caption. So we just simply drag it onto the timeline, and you see that the text animates in and animates out. So we can move that around to wherever we might want to, just by adjusting the position of it as we wish. And will animate in just the same way. Now, what we can do is we can go to the Edit tab here in Essential Graphics, and we can change the caption text. So in this case, we've now got a different text that is there. We can also change the other attributes. We could, for example, make it into a different color. And we can change the size of the caption as required. So we've got all of the text properties that we might have need. We can make it bold or not. We can make it all caps, and we can change any of the normal attributes of this. So we've now created our own motion graphics template that you can use on any of your projects, and you can make as many of these as you wish with different kinds of animation just that suit you. And we'll look in a further video at how you can do some more advanced things with the captions just to jazz them up a bit further. So I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial and found it useful. So if you've enjoyed this video and benefited from it, then please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of the new videos as they're uploaded. I'm going to post a new video each week covering Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audition, Photoshop and Lightroom. So if you're interested in learning about these projects, then please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell and get a new video every week.